What do you want junior Marines to know about Okinawa, about this location, and what it actually holds?
First of all, it holds a lot of history for the Marine Corps. And it's my first time deploying out here was in 1985. I came out here from 1985 to 1986 for a year. I didn't know what to expect as a young Marine. But during that time, Okinawa was really the place to come to. It was really the place because Marines want to deploy. Marines want to be forward. And for some reason, I know the reason, going to Afghanistan and Iraq, Marines have rotated to those places over and over again. And now that the majority of the Marines are not over there, I want young Marines to know and old Marines to know that, hey, this is forward. This is forward. There's a reason why Marines in Okinawa. There's absolutely a reason why the SecDef said he wanted, 20,000 plus, west of the international date line. There's a big responsibility, to be here, to protect the freedoms and rights and the interests of the United States. And the other thing is we're ambassadors here. We have to remember that. We're visitors. We're visitors in Okinawa, in Iwakuni, in Korea. And we must show the American flag, but we must also represent America and show, other countries that we do right. We do right. We don't go to other countries and go against their rules, their regulations, their policies. We are always faithful to the core and to our country, and we got to represent in the right way.
Forward. When we say the word forward, we use that a lot in the Marine Corps.
Yes.
What does that mean to you personally? What does forward mean to you?
Forward means you're someplace other than the United States. You're someplace other than the continental United States. You're actually someplace where America has an interest. Okinawa being a place of interest. We've been here a long time. The Japanese want us here. We have a partnership with them. We're fighting for the same liberties and freedoms. That wasn't always the case. That has not always been the case. But it's great to see today, as I visited Iwo Jima about 6 months ago. And I was there with some veterans that fought for that island, and fought for liberty, freedom, and interests of the United States. And it was good to go there for the first time and see Japanese and Americans that 70 years ago fought against each other, walking hand in hand, back up Mount Suribachi to the top, saying, you know what? We believe in the same rights and freedoms. We believe in our families. We believe in our countries, and we're doing it together.
Sergeant Major, being faithful. What does faithful mean to you as you've served so many years in the Marine Corps, Semper Fidelis? What does it mean to you?
It means always faithful to the Marine to your left and to your right, to your family, to your country, to the values of your country, the ethos of the Corps. That's what always faithful means to me. It means doing what's right. It means doing what's right all the time. Discipline is one thing. That's when everybody's looking at you. Self-discipline is when doing the right thing when no one's looking at you. Not faithful when somebody's watching. It's being faithful all the time. God, country, Corps, 3 types of readiness. Unit readiness, family readiness, and personal readiness.
When you hear the word focused, what kind of rings a bell to you? What comes to you when we talk about Marine Corps 3MEF being focused?
Being focused to me for 3MEF means there's a book called The Outliers. And The Outlier talks about, doing something 10,000 repetition, 10,000 hours before you perfect it. It's the Michael Jordans and the Larry Birds and the Yvonne Goolagans, the Phil Mickelsons of golf, the Tiger Woods. It's being the best at what you do. Being focused, what it means to me is, America said, Congress said that, the 82nd Congress in 1952 said, hey, Marine Corps, you're going to be most ready when the nation's least ready. That's focus. America expects the Marine Corps to be focused and ready. I tell my kids all the time, we look at, Batman in Gotham City, and I sort of relate that to America. When America shines the bat light, she expects the Marine Corps to show up. Because when she shines that light, she's dialed at 911. And she expects America to be focused. Here at 3MEF, the craft of what you do out in the Pacific, that the focus has to be on readiness. Readiness, not just of gear, but of self. Physical, mental, and spiritually ready for the fight that we know it's gonna come. It's just a matter of when. It's not about if, it's a matter of when.
Why does our presence in Okinawa mean our behavior is held to a higher standard, Sergeant Major?
First off, in Okinawa, we're visitors. You talked about being forward earlier. Anytime we leave the United States, we're visiting someplace. And we have a status of forces agreement with this country. We're ambassadors. We represent the United States. And we have to know individually, not just as a unit, but individually, we have a responsibility to do the right thing, to focus, as you said, talking about being forward, being focused, being faithful. That's what it's all about. It's about being ambassadors and doing the right thing, not thinking about ourselves, not being selfish, being selfless. We may want to go and do something, but we have to ask ourselves, is that the right thing to do? How is that going to affect not only the Marine Corps, but the United States? It's not about the individual. It's about the Marine to our left and to our right, not just in combat. But when we choose liberty, we're also representing the Marine to our left and to our right. Because when you're forward deployed, like here in Okinawa, you got to understand the liberty risks that are out there, the rules and regulations. One individual can spoil it for a lot of others, or for all. And that has happened in the past. So we have to take individual responsibility.
How does the Corps plan to actively retain staff NCOs who are being tasked to do more with less?
I think we're doing a great job, first off, in recruiting. Our recruiting command does a great job. We've made our mission every year so far. Over the last few years, we've made the mission. There may be a few MOSs, a couple, that we're not 100% by the end of the year. But as a Corps, we make our mission. So we're looking to get better. We're always looking to get better. We're good. We just want to be better. So with staff NCOs, you asked about the staff NCOs. Good staff NCOs are staying. I'll tell you something about the strength of the Corps. We recruit 30-something thousand Marines every year. We put 30-something thousand Marines depart the Corps every year. And a lot of Marines say, hey, you know, all the good Marines are getting out. You know, the Commandant, you know, said something to me on the plane as we got ready to come over here. We're having a conversation. He said, Sergeant Major, we see the world from where we sit. You know, we have one view of the world. And just because a good Marine or a few good Marines get out in one unit does not mean every good Marine's getting out. And furthermore, the Commandant is expecting the Marines that are staying to step up. Not only to step up, but to be better than the Marine that just got out. So a lot of Marines out every year, a lot of Marines in every year. The great thing is the pool is backed up 6 to 12 months with Americans who want to be Marines. So they're great staff NCOs staying. I don't think we have a shortage. We got to make sure we got the right staff NCOs in the right place. We have to ask Marines to stay if we think they're worthy. Absolutely. We want to keep the best Marines.
So obviously then that competitive. You got to stay competitive.
It's very competitive. It's very competitive because it's like a pyramid. You can only keep so many. You know, we like to think that we like to reach out there and pick the ones, you know, that are in the place where we need them to be. And the staff NCO community, it's doing great. It's doing great. Downsizing. As of 11 November, we had about 183,355 plus Marines in the Corps. The Commandant said we're going down to 182, 100. We're almost there. There's not a lot of downsizing left to do. We've almost downsized 19,000 Marines in about 5 years. We're almost there. So we're hitting the sweet spot. We just want to make sure we're keeping the right Marines.
Sergeant Major, in what ways does 3MEF operate to make it unique from the other Marine Corps MEFs that are out there? What makes this particular MEF a little unique?
The biggest thing that makes this particular MEF unique is that it's forward deployed. You know, 1 MEF, Camp Pendleton, 2 MEF, you know, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. This MEF is always forward. It's always forward. So there's more expected from this MEF. This MEF is closer to, you know, whoever is going to call themselves, you know, the enemy. This MEF has to be ready and relevant today. Today. If you're going to come from the States, it's going to take you, you know, we can get there overnight. But when the balloon goes up in the Pacific, this MEF's already there. That's unique. So to be forward, focused, you know, and faithful, I mean, that's every day, 24/7. The Commandant, the nation expects that from the entire Marine Corps, but more so when the SecDef says put 20+ thousand west of the international date line, we better be focused and ready.
In his town hall, the Commandant talked about a couple of junior Marine interactions that he had, and they didn't seem too impressed by their staff NCO leadership. Is this an issue across the staff NCO ranks that you're worried about, or more just isolated things? When you look at that big, you know,
Yes.
picture of the Marine Corps that you were talking about, Sergeant Major.
I think it's isolated. Again, I'll go back, you know, to the Commandant talking about we see the world, you know, from where we sit. That was that Marine, you know, perception is reality to a Marine, especially young Marines. That's the thing that staff NCOs have to, you know, remember. And officers. Any leader has to understand that the lead is looking every day, and they have an expectation. I think one thing we don't talk about enough is, when Marines transition from recruit training and they receive that Eagle Globe and Anchor at the Crucible. How many times do we ask that Marine, will you bring your Eagle Globe and Anchor back in here? And if you've lost it, let me give you another one. And let's have a conversation about that day, that particular moment when you received your Eagle Globe and Anchor. How proud were you? How did you feel? It was about the team that day. It's about the team every day, not just that day. But this is not recruit training when you get out here. When you come out into the operating forces, when you're done with recruit training, you finish SOI or MCT and go to school and get out of here, we're adults. I hate when, I hear, Marines that's been around a while say kids, those kids. We don't put weapons in the hands of kids. Young Americans, yes. Young Americans that are willing to die for their country, just like the older ones that have joined the Marine Corps. So, first off, we need to get rid of that kid stigma. We have young Marines that have high expectations from their senior leadership. So my focus is squarely on staff NCOs, absolutely. Because I think staff NCOs are the backbone. Staff NCOs are the heartbeat of the Marine Corps. The formations, the word being passed, that link between the officers and the young Marine, the NCO, is that staff NCO. And our creed, says we are the most unique group of military practitioners, professional practitioners in the world, bound by duty to God, country, and our fellow Marines, to execute the demands of our position to and beyond what we feel to be our capabilities. That's staff NCOs. That's our responsibility. That's our obligation. And I take it serious.
You talked about that Eagle Globe and Anchor, that moment we all received that, and something that we earned. The Marine Corps doesn't give us anything. We earn it all. And we hear a lot of this protect what you earned campaign that's going on now from our senior leadership. Just give us your views on this and what that kind of means to you, Major.
The Commandant, he talks about a moment that actually made him think deep in his soul, and figure out what his delivery was going to be to the entire Marine Corps about protecting what we've earned. And to me, all that you go back to the days of the Crucible. When I came in the Marine Corps 32 years ago, there was no Crucible. But there was a day when I earned my Eagle Globe and Anchor. It was graduation day. At OCS, officers earned their Eagle Globe and Anchor. So when you talk about protecting what you've earned, and I talk about the 3 types of readiness, what we've earned personally, what we've earned as a Corps, and what we've earned from our families. We go back to places where people are proud of us. America's proud of us. And that Eagle Globe and Anchor, Marine for life. Marine for life. That's from the time we earn the Eagle Globe and Anchor until the time we have no more breath left in our body. And beyond. On Veterans Day, we were laying wreaths at the tomb of, Gunnery Sergeant John Basilone, Ira Hayes, and a few others. Commandant was laying wreaths, in Arlington Cemetery. Because you're a Marine for life. And for life means beyond this life. Beyond this life. Because we talk about the Corporal Dunhams, the Lieutenant General Smedley Butlers, the Sergeant Major Dan Daly's of the Marine Corps. I mean, it's a way of life for us. It's a way of life. And every November, we come together to celebrate that. And, something came out on Duffel Blog about celebrities. And I want to tell all Marines, the only celebrities at the Marine Corps ball are the Marines. I spoke at 3 balls this year. I thank the families, the friends, and the civilian Marines. But that night belonged to the Marines. We are the only celebrities in the room that night because we're paying homage to those who've gone before us, to those who fought with us or who are prepared to fight with us, and those who will come behind us. We are the celebrities of the Marine Corps. Everybody else, they're just invited guests.
Anything else that you'd like to say to the Marines out here? You've got a chance to travel around here today with the Commandant. Any message that you'd like to give the Marines or the sailors or families out here?
Absolutely. First, I'd like to say, thanks for everything they do for their country and for their Corps, and for their Navy, or for the soldiers, the sailors, the Coast Guardmen that come underneath the Eagle Globe and Anchor. the family members, the civilian Marines, thanks for everything you do for the Corps and for the country. But I like to also remind all the Marines and all those who support Marines under the Eagle Global Inc. that the enemy gets a vote every day. They do. Our job is to make sure they don't win the election. We do that by changing their minds or their zip codes. That's what Marines are all about. That's what we do. We don't make trains, planes, automobiles. We make United States Marines. BMW has a slogan that says, they make the ultimate driving machine. We make the ultimate fighting Marine. That's what we do. That's what America expects. So thanks for everything that everyone does. Just be ready, be relevant, and as General Mattis, would say, no better friend if you're on the side of the nation, the Corps, no worse enemy if you're on the other side. Appreciate it. Semper Fidelis. Hoorah.